We love our dogs, but they age at a faster rate than we do. What are some of the symptoms and signs we need to look at for letting us know that our dogs are aging, and what sort of things we need to considerations we need to make when doing transitional planning for our pets as they get older? Let's have a look at that right now. Greetings, my name is Rick Ward, and I'm a retirement coach and a transitional planner with Your Journey Transitions. Today I'm chatting with Andrew Beatty, a world-class dog judge and an expert on all dog breeds and a general animal enthusiast. We are discussing some of the considerations when doing some transitional planning around your aging dog. So today I have the pleasure of having my long-term friend Andrew here, who is my go-to guy when it comes to animals for the pets, particularly my dog and my chickens. And so we'll just have a bit of chat with Andrew. We talk about different issues to be facing as our dog ages.
When the dog's young, it can do anything, just like us. When we were young, we were immortal. Dogs probably think the same, but we've got to take some, maybe not walk so far. The other thing that people do is they tend to try and feed it the same thing. We have different needs, protein levels, size of kibble. Like buying a big bone, maybe the old dog can't get through, but it can get through some fleshy stuff. So you've got to look at what you're buying, types of food. Again, keep up in contact with your vet, somebody looking at your dog, because then you know when it's losing condition. It might be feeling the cold, so if it lives outside, maybe you get a rug to cover it up, or you change the boxes in. If it's inside, just keep an eye on it. The other thing is the heat. I mean, a lot of people walk dogs, like I said, at the wrong time of day, or they walk it on cement or bitumen roads. The reflected heat from them. I don't like walking on when it's hot, no why a dog would. The other thing you've got to consider with that is looking at having a look at what else your dog is doing. Is it sleeping more? The whole thing of just knowing your dog. And also do research. We're pretty lucky. We can hop on Google and we can look up anything these days. So don't be afraid to look up and don't be afraid to ask the questions. It gives you something to do. But yeah, feeding, maintenance, and be aware your dog is like us. It's aging. So and it forgets things. You find a lot of older dogs are not so friendly with the other dogs in the park. Maybe they can't see or can't hear as well, so it's threatening. They protect themselves by growling or biting, or they may just be trying to protect you.
Vets, I mean, is it necessary to have health checks for vets? If you do, how often? Or
I suppose
there's a problem?
Yeah, I suppose it's to get in boarding kennels, they usually want you to have yearly shots, so there's your opportunity.
Yearly dog?
Yeah, yearly shots. Especially when a dog's older, they've got more likelihood of something coming down, especially things like kennel cough and that. Keep an eye how often you need to shot, keep an eye on a dog. If you get a regular vet, they know your dog, so you might bring a year later a dog and say, maybe its skin's a bit more tighter, the coat's not looking as good, or there's discharge from its eyes and stuff like that. And the vet knows your dog, but if you just take a dog in cold, it's relying on you. Well, you're the best information, but sometimes we get older, we forget a few things.
And to us, she looks fine. They come by and say, "Oh, your dog's overweight." I go, "Oh, she's lost weight. She looks fine to me." But and that was the thing that we've done. It's in one of my other videos, the 7 Steps to 40 again, where we're walking the dog and the exercise. We're doing exercise. Dogs doing exercise. It's all good, but she doesn't do the mindful eating, and people still feed her. Yep. So that weight gain, I don't know if there's any way we can control that, because out here on rural property, she goes to the neighbors and people feed her.
Well, you're pretty lucky. The dog's got a lot of space to enjoy his life. I think the issue with, just keep an eye on it. The thing is, we all hop on scales ourselves. Who puts a dog on a scale? And you're lucky, you can pick your dog up.
But I didn't realize how heavy she was. So I went to give her a bath last night, and usually my wife does that, and I picked her up, and she's like 20 kilos. So.
That's exactly right. So probably a little bit overweight, but we all put on a bit of beef as we get older. So, but the idea is being aware. I suppose the biggest sign is that when you get really fat dogs, and your dog's pretty active. Some dogs aren't active. You see them sitting around and then they walk across to your shed and back and they're puffing. So there's a sign there. And that's what you've got to be aware of. And different breeds. Some of the large breeds live 7 to 10 years. So you're looking down the barrel fairly easy. But some of the other dogs are living to 15, 17 years and looking pretty good for the last few. And then all of a sudden they start to get arthritis or their eyesight goes. You usually tell when their eyesight goes, they start doing things. Dogs like us, they like routine. And when they get older, it's making sure, what size kibble. Is it tough kibble to eat? Are they struggling a little bit? Or we give them big bones, we're probably better give them a bit more fleshy bones, so it's a little bit easier for them. And there's good products out there. There's good dog food out there, so you just got to find what they like and what works for them.
When you say there's good dog food out there, so is it a matter of the preference, what they like to eat? And
You just go watch them. And the point, the good thing is also you've got a lot of reviews. You've got a lot of professional societies giving reviews of dog food. I mean, there's good expensive ones and there's good cheap ones, as far as cheap as you can buy from the supermarket. And the other thing is you've got to have a look at the results. I mean, the dog's coming outside and basically got the runs. That's not a dog food I want to use. I mean, we all talk about the old tin food doing that. Well, none of us want that result. You want to get a balance.
Now, what about a lot of people, including myself and other people, will feed them food scraps and things like that from your own human food?
Look, the dogs like it. I mean, there's always that. I mean, some traditional breeders go, they shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. Basically, the only thing I can see you've got to be careful with is have a look at the brittle bones, especially with older dogs. They're not breaking them down. I mean, I never feed my dogs, cooked chicken bones because they get brittle. Of course, you get down the stomachs, little dog. That's the only thing. I mean, I'm fussy on what scraps I do. I sort them out. Well, I'm pretty lucky. I've got a wife that knows what I'm like. So anything with small bones or whatever, if it's not a big bone and it's cooked, it ain't going to my dog.
So the cooking is because it makes it
real. Raw bones, I never have a hassle with. And raw food, although more people have issues with raw food, people have more issues with raw food than dogs. And that's I mean, there's great books written on feeding them offal. I mean, people don't like to buy offal because it goes quick, but they do pretty well though. But it's, again, getting that balance. I mean, some people go, oh, what have you cooked the food and stuff like that. The dog usually lets you know. If it likes it and it's not starving, they'll eat anything. Is it bad for it? Well, there's nothing, we can eat it, they can eat it. I mean, there's certain things like onions and stuff like that you've got to be careful with, you don't give it to them. But you've just got to be careful. It's like anything, sort it out. If you're going to give anything scraps, sort out the good scraps. People chuck the whole lot in. Well, the whole lot might not. If you've got small bones, well, let's face it, we don't like little bones either.
But she's doing much better. We exercise every day, and she's lost some weight, tone.
And her coat's looking good. It's got a nice shine to it, and that's something you look at. I mean, you see some dogs, the coat's a bit all over the place. It's parted, it hasn't got a shine. Usually that's the sign of things like that. It's like us, people who are well, the hair looks good. Same as dogs. I mean, you just look at it, the coat looks good. You're pretty lucky she's got a nice length of coat, so it's easy to manage.
You mentioned their eyes, the blue tinge. That's a chance. How do you know about hearing? It's just
hearing. I mean, you can do the old trick of standing behind him and clap your hands and see if they respond. You'll start to see certain things. I mean, dogs are like people. They start doing things differently. They might turn their head more to one side. You'll notice that. It might be. I mean, dogs get infections of the ears. Hardly anyone checks their ears, especially if you've got breeds like Cocker Spaniels and that got hair down their ears. You've got more issues with that, and you should be aware of that when you get that breed. There should be some.
Again, because they got shorter lifespan.
Yep.
And if you come across any experience of what's the best way to handle that transition, oftentimes people get a young pup and the older one raises it, or is it better to have a break between dogs, or that's very individual?
I think that's very individual. I think the issue is because I've shown dogs, we've probably had too many dogs, to be honest. The issue you've got to look at is, some people introduce a young pup as the dog's getting older. I mean, personally, I find that stressful for the dog because you've just changed its whole environment. But that's more for you than the dog, I think. And if you need that, that's reasonable. Some old dogs cope with that all right, some don't. But if you do it, is again prepare. If you're going to introduce a new dog into the family, into the other dog's life, how are you going to do it?
And how do you think there would be good ways of doing that?
I think, the issue again, I go back to if you trained your dog to a routine, you get your younger dog in a similar routine, introduce them slowly. Make sure that you've got control so the older dog can't be aggressive towards the younger one, or the younger one can't jump all over the older dog all day. I mean, you imagine how you'd feel.
Yeah.
It's just planning it and introduce them slowly. I mean, I think the secret is letting them be able to see each other and control get-together times, and that increases.
Do that slowly,
yeah. Because I think the risk are if you're not there watching them, there's going to be some sort of sort out in the system, and that can create issues. But I've found that dogs that see each other are happy. They can see the other dog, they're right. If they can't see him and hear him, that doesn't work. But if you have a system, I mean, the old thing about having areas where the old dog can go, maybe the old dog's got used to the crate, the puppy's getting used to his crate, so you face the crates together. Well, at night, where they get used to each other.
No, I've seen that at your place, where just that reassurance that they can see each other. Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, that's it. It's working on us. Just have a plan. I mean, the issue is, and don't try and chuck the pup in the old dog's crate, and the old dog's bed.
Territorial thing.
Yeah, oh, it should be.
What I do like about Andrew's point of planning's crucial. That's the whole point of this channel, is the more we plan, the less drama there is for the people we leave behind and for ourselves, and in this case for our pets. How we can reduce that as we change and they change. The key points in this video is be mindful of the reduced capacity of your dog. Reduced vision, hearing, endurance, sensitivity to heat and cold. Look at the food choices, maybe some softer foods, something easier to eat. Beware of brittle bones and cooked bones. Maybe have less socialization with other dogs. They became a bit more frightful and can be more aggressive. Have a regular vet, a vet that knows your dog and can keep track of its shape and fitness. It's a good idea to crate train your dog so it can be used to being transported to the vets, and keep up with injections, because older dogs can be more vulnerable to different diseases such as kennel cough. I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. This video was created from excerpts from a much longer video entitled Aging with Your Pet. If you haven't seen that yet and you're interested in this sort of content, I would check that out. Also, if you're looking for some transitional planning for yourself as we age through our retirement years, and to get some helpful hints on active aging and getting the most out of your lifestyle in retirement, I also recommend that you would subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I release new content. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and of course my website, www.yourjourneytransitions.com. So until next time, this is Rick Ward, your guide through retirement stages, wishing you an extraordinary retirement.
This is like a cocoon.
What comes out of a cocoon?
Butterflies.
Are butterflies beautiful?
Yeah.